Okay, this is Tom Bauer at a jam-packed Amherst High School for a match between the Lorain Titans and Amherst Comets. We're doing an afternoon assembly match. It's kind of unique in high school wrestling, where we're right in the middle of a school day here in Amherst, and they let the kids out of class come here to really see a good wrestling match. We're talking about two premier programs in Lorain County when we're talking about Lorain and Amherst. Amherst, winner of two tournaments, the Avon Lake Classic and the Bob Bailey Bellevue Tournament. Lorain's participated in two tournaments and came in third in both tournaments. So both teams are doing very well this year. I got my co-host here, Ewan Ralston.
How you doing?
I'm doing fine. How are you doing today, Ewan?
Not too bad, not too bad. Excited.
Very good match coming up, I'm sure.
Oh, definitely, definitely.
And Lorain together.
It's always good matches between these two schools.
Exactly. Last year's match, when they had the assembly match over in Lorain last year, Lorain took it by a pretty tight score. I can't remember exactly what the score was, but it was competitive all the way up and down through the match.
Definitely.
You're going to have to help me with some of the names. Have you wrestled with some of the Lorain kids during any of the practices this year?
I have been at a couple of the practices. I haven't been at as many as I would like to go to with work and school, but I'm able to go to a couple, and I know most of the kids. And I'm still not that old, so there's a couple of kids that I wrestled with a little bit when I was in high school. So.
Are any of the seniors out here wrestling when you were a senior? Were they freshmen then?
Yeah, like Blake Binyard was a freshman when I was in high school, and Eli Garcia was. So I remember wrestling with a lot of those kids.
The thing with wrestling, when it comes to introductions, if you look at the Amherst lineup, they have a lot more 14 wrestlers over there. So it's kind of a give and take. They wait in 2 or 3 at some of the weight classes, kind of do a little cat and mouse, so no one knows exactly who's going to be wrestling.
Definitely.
Of course, that hurts us because we don't know exactly who's going to be wrestling
Exactly,
either.
and these handshakes don't mean much because as the match goes on, that can change too.
Yeah, exactly. I see we're focusing in on the official out there. The official's a veteran, Matt Ambrose, a very good friend of mine. Matt's been officiating for the last 10, 12 years now. He has his hands full because it's going to be a competitive match. There's the flip. It's basically the flip in wrestling just to see who gets to take their choice first to begin the second period. So, getting ready for some wrestling. Let's sit down and maybe get some paperwork out here. So see what we got.
Dinner makes a difference. Learn more at CasaFamilyDay.org.
All right, we're getting ready now. There's the weigh-in sheets. The weigh-in sheets now, they let us know pretty much what the order of the wrestler is going to be. I don't know exactly what weight class they started with. Do you recognize people out there? See, one thing in wrestling anymore, we don't start at the 106 and work our way up to heavyweights. It looks like they might be starting with the heavyweights already. There are some pretty big boys out there.
They are pretty big. I don't know if they're necessarily heavyweights. I see some other bigger boys warming up.
Yeah, that's true. So we might be about 195. So where's that's always is a confusing part of wrestling, trying to figure out because they bump people around so much. Is that Charles Cook for Lorain?
That's what I was just thinking. I think that's a 220-pound weight class.
Yeah. Charles Cook for Lorain, and wrestling for Leary or for Amherst would probably be then
Michael Figueroa.
Figueroa. Figueroa gets a takedown. Well, Figueroa is just a beginner. He has a 1-0 record, but now he has gets Cook on his back. But he had to lock hands to do that. You can't lock hands and take a man to his back. It's a penalty. So any back points that he would have earned are negated by the penalty.
Yep, any advantage he would have gotten would have been.
Yeah. So we're sitting here at 2-1. Still not a good sign going to your back,
nope.
Whether it was locked hands
Charles
or not.
Cook with a nice stand-up.
Yeah.
Almost finished it. Hip roll. There we go.
And control, and back points coming. Now, as you see, Amherst squirmed out of bounds. Now, you're not allowed to flee the mat on purpose, but in a situation when you are on your back, you are allowed to get out of bounds because that's your only defense when someone's about to pin you.
Exactly.
So Lorain jumps up with a 2-point reversal and 2 points for a back point, so they jump out to a 5-2 lead now. You have a record here on Cook. Looks like he's wrestled in a few matches earlier in the season.
Yeah, he looks like he has a 4-6 record. Finished 8th at the Riverside Rumble tournament.
And probably they had a dual meet, a quad coming up last weekend at East Lake North. And did he wrestle any matches at the East Lake North?
Yes, it seems he went 2-0 at the.
Okay, so he won both his matches there.
Yes.
Yeah, with just a few seconds left, the object now just keep riding him out.
Did a good job of riding him out. Don't want to give any last-second points up.
Yep, ever. Now here's a situation where it's Amherst's choice. He deferred his decision. He'd like to see what happens with Lorain in the second period. Just make his choice in the third period. Well, rather than wrestle him on the mat again, a chance for another reversal to back points. He just gave him his escape, gave him 1 point right now so they go back on their feet.
Yep. There's
strategy.
There's a lot more strategy in wrestling than people realize.
Yeah, exactly right.
Ooh, nice snap down.
There, and 2 points. See, there's where the strategy comes in. You give him the 1 point so you can take him down and get you 2 points and let him back up again.
Yeah. Figueroa did a nice job of using Cook's momentum against him, and he goes to the same move again and almost was successful, but Cook a little smarter this time.
Yep, there's again, Cook was the aggressor, drove him all the way almost out of bounds, but got slapped down to his back. Yeah. And there's the pin.
Yeah.
That's how fast wrestling can change. Look at a 5-2 lead going into the period. Ended up.
One mistake can cost you a match.
34 seconds later. Yeah. Here comes the heavyweights. Who do we have for Lorain, Yulin?
For Lorain, a heavyweight, we have Robert Wagner.
And for Amherst, I have Stephanie Mooney, who has a 8-4 record so far this year.
What a coincidence. Robert Wagner's 8-4 as well.
This might be an even match.
Maybe. He has a couple places at the Riverside Rumble tournament, the Beaver Local tournament, and also went 2-0 at the East Liverpool Duel.
Okay. You know, they always accuse the heavyweights of just doing a lot of dancing, but time will tell whether these two will do any shooting or if they're on the mat wrestlers or what happens with them. You never can tell with heavyweights.
You never know, but their matches may be the longest or they may be the quickest.
Yeah. Well, Amherst went down quick and got that leg. It looked like Cook came out with that little wizard, and he won't get a takedown with that wizard in there all the way.
Nice shot defense by Wagner of Lorain. Never gave up on the.
Yeah, he had his leg in there deep, but he wizarded down and got out of it. The wrestling is a lot of you countering the other man's move and trying to make it work against him.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Every one of your moves should be based off of your opponent's moves, so.
That's something coming from an experienced wrestler like yourself. See, Amherst, that's the second time Amherst got in deep on the leg, and the second time he whizzed down in there to get out of it. Yeah, it looks like to me Amherst is the one who wants to go down on the legs, whereas Lorain's going to be more of an upper body man.
More of a conventional style heavyweight.
Exactly.
It's like there's a little bit of blood on the mat.
Yeah. We have put a lot more safety and cleanliness into wrestling in the past few years, especially with all the blood cleanups and problems. We had a lot of hand checking out there now. That's a typical heavyweight move. Both collared up, work on each other's neck.
Trying to control the tie, trying to control wrist. Pummel in, pummel out.
And they talk about heavyweights dancing. I mean, there's a lot more going on than the dancing part of it. There's a lot of, getting your hands inside of your opponent's hands so you can't go down on his legs.
Oh, Wagner has some underhooks. Oh, Mo scored.
Yeah. Well, then you got to start your move a little bit more, give yourself a little bit more time to finish, and also try to finish it into the mat. Now, I know exactly what the official is telling them. Keep it in the inner circle, because if you keep it in the inner circle, I'll know it's a takedown. Don't let me make the judgment when you go out of bounds.
Yep.
I know I do enough officiating, and you hate calls on the edge because they're always very close and very tricky. Well, Lorain chose down, thinking he'd like to get his escape early, get his 1 point, get a lead.
Again, Robert Wagner has a very nice wizard.
Yeah, he did. He got himself
his
out of there.
throughout the whole match.
Even though the Amherst man's arm is behind his back, he still doesn't have control with one arm around the back. So now they're back on their feet. So Lorain leads 1-0. Yeah. See, that's the confidence. When you take down in the second period, you're saying that man can't turn me and I can get my escape. Now, are they going to stay on their feet for the whole rest of the second period? Time will tell if anyone gets a takedown. Yeah.
Lorain looks like he's becoming the aggressor a little bit.
Yeah, very much. You see Amherst cut the corner a little bit so he didn't get driven out of bounds. That's always a fine line for the official to see who's doing the stalling. And you can see if one man drives someone out of bounds once or twice, you know the other man. So you cut the corner and you don't get driven out of bounds. And all of a sudden the official knows you're not stalling. You're trying to stay in the mat.
One of the first things they teach you in practice is a circle. Never back up.
Never back up. Never back up. Then again, never get thrown either. If you're forcing too much, don't let your opponent work off of you forcing yourself in. They're out of bounds with 17 seconds left. Now here's where you don't want to give anything up if you're Lorain because you have the 1 point lead. But you also don't want to just be passive out there and let him do something on you either.
Exactly. This is a good time for when you want to try and steal a couple points, so to speak, catch the wrestler off guard, maybe not think you're going to try something, but at the same time, you don't want to leave yourself vulnerable to take down yourself.
So now it was Amherst's choice. He chose down also, knowing he's going to have to get his escape to even the score up. Now, the question is, can Cook ride him out for 2 minutes? Or can Wagner ride him out for 2 minutes, or could Cook get his, or Moody get his escape?
Well, Moody so far got to his base very.
Yeah, got to his feet. That's
there
the
it
trick.
is.
Get to your feet.
So
each
wrestler has their one escape. Each wrestler has 1 point at the start of the third period.
Yep.
There hasn't been really an advantage on their feet, so we'll see.
Yeah.
He's going to be the first wrestler to get a takedown to win the match.
Yeah, see, takedown's worth 2 points. So the next person gets a takedown, even though the other person can get their escape, you're still winning by 1. So
takedown's so important.
So important in wrestling. Amherst deep in on that leg again. Of course, that could be a disadvantage because he's underneath now.
Yep. Wagner has good leg defense.
Yeah, got to get those hips back. Yeah, Mooney looks like he's all not. Good hips. Now what he got to do is he's got to force his hands down and try to spin around. That's where you see everyone is yelling crossface, crossface, crossface.
Yep. He would like to push on the head, crossface, wizard. You don't want to just apply weight because that can work to your disadvantage as well.
Very
you got to
so.
find separation.
Great. Now, the referee's only going to let this go on for a little bit. As long as they're moving, he'll let it go. Because here's Wagner almost behind him. I think he, oh my, it was close. Very, very, very close there. But Amherst did get a chance, scooched around Mooney.
He caught that leg on the.
He did.
While Wagner was trying to roll around. That leg prevented Wagner from getting all the way around and getting his 2 points.
And actually, he's going to try it again. Again, you got to force that head down.
He hasn't flattened.
Now you got to, and he is behind him. There's his 2 with 13 seconds left.
This is a good heavyweight match. So
very good. It wasn't a good
Both
heavyweight
wrestlers
match.
wanted this win.
And Wagner will ride him out for the decision. Now there's a jab. Remember we said that the Amherst wrestler was going to go down for the legs. He's a shooter, whereas Wagner's a counter wrestler. He waited for the shot, but then he worked around and he spent a minute and a half, and he finally got his takedown in the last 13 seconds.
Yep. Never give up.
Now we go around to your weight class when we get it down to the little boys. Here we go with 106. Now wrestling for Lorain is who?
We have Devin Edwards.
Devin, all right. And I don't know exactly who they weighed in for Amherst.
It looks like Nick Spataro.
And Devin is an experienced wrestler. What's his record this past season so far?
Devin right now is 12-1.
Wow.
He had a first place finish at the Riverside Rumble, a third place finish at the Beaver Local Tournament where he had just 1 loss, but he able to wrestle back and finish 3rd. And he went 2-0 at the East Liverpool Duels.
Okay.
He's a freshman, but he comes with a lot of experience and, as you can see, a lot of skill when it comes to wrestling.
Now, does he have any? I know there's a lot of other Edwards boys on the team. He's probably a brother of some of the other Edwards who have wrestled for Lorain and are still wrestling for Lorain.
Definitely. He's the youngest of the Edwards brothers.
Okay.
He has 2 older brothers. Antoine Edwards was a wrestler from Lorain High. He graduated last year. And his other brother, Xavier Edwards, wrestles 120 from
We'll
Lorain High.
see Xavier coming up here pretty soon.
Yep, he'll be coming up pretty soon.
Now for the Amherst, Spataro, I don't have anything right up on him, so I guess this might be his first match.
Maybe.
It looks like
you find a lot of freshmen at the lower weight classes.
Yeah, exactly. And a lot of times there's a strategy. Now Edwards gave him the 1-point escape on purpose so he could try to take him down again.
He has him there. See how Edwards did a very nice job of finishing on the head before he took him down.
Yeah, take him down, but you also take him down to his back.
Exactly.
Much more work rather than the 2 points. Now you're going to end up with 4 or 5 points for that.
Yep.
There's the little things that you see that you really don't pick up in wrestling unless you're involved in it. Just that grabbing of the head was just
makes such a big difference.
A big difference. Because the official is probably holding 3 points now, more for Lorain. 7 seconds left.
Trying to stretch him out, trying to get that shoulder down.
He's a 3. So that changes the score up to 9-1 and the 1 point where Edwards gave him the kick out. But here's where the strategy is. I know the Amherst coaches have thrown this boy in, knowing that Edwards was maybe a superior wrestler, but don't get pinned and save some team points. That's the strategy. Yeah. And you'll see if he doesn't get pinned, the Amherst coaches will congratulate him.
Every point counts in a dual meet.
Yeah. There's almost some locking hands, but not quite. See, the official had to run around to see what was happening in the back there. So Edwards gets his reversal and has the arm maybe for some back points coming too.
Yep, there it is. You want to hop over the hip and get your chest to chest. Edwards did a nice job on the switch right off the whistle. That first move is very crucial in escaping from the bottom.
Now the Lorain coaches are yelling, pin him, because if you let him up, he did pin him, got the 6 points. So that pin equaled out to 220 pin that Amherst had, and Lorain has the 1 extra victory, so now the score should be 9-6 favor Lorain.
Which is true.
Now, coming up at 113, I have Christian Lau or possibly Mike Flazinski. It looks like Flazinski, I don't know which one they sent out of there. They weighed in both. Both are eligible. Yeah. We don't know, but he did get a takedown. Who's wrestling for Lorain?
From Lorain, we have Marcus Kopp.
Marcus? What's
He's a
Marcus's
junior.
record?
His record is 9-4. Had a 4th place finish at the Riverside Rumble tournament, a 2nd place finish at the Beaver Local tournament, and went 2-0 at the East Liverpool Duel.
Yeah, see, the reason I don't know who's wrestling is Flazinski had been their wrestler before. He was the 106 and did place at the Bellevue tournament. But Lau was more of an experienced wrestler, but he didn't wrestle yet this year. But he did place at the districts last year. So now that he's healthy, he's probably in the lineup. That's my guess. Well, Lorain's in on the leg on him. It probably looks like he's climbing up. Now, what he has to do to get his takedown is he has to get his right arm out of there around his back, but he couldn't do it. You know, my guess this is Lau because that looks like an experienced wrestler move to me.
Yeah, I believe so. I believe I watched this wrestler last year at the sectionals and at the district.
So what weight class did you wrestle, when you were there?
When I was in high school, they had the older weight classes, so I wrestled 103 and also 119 my senior season.
Okay. And where did you place senior year?
My senior year, I finished 3rd.
3rd in the state.
3rd in the state.
Congratulations. And how
Thank
about
you.
years before that? Any other placements?
My sophomore year, I also finished 3rd. So
Okay.
had a hard time getting over that hump, but
Usually what happens is you get there caught in the semis.
Yep.
And you meet the champ in the semis rather than getting a chance to meet the champ in the championship round.
Yeah.
It happens all the time in bracketing wrestling. And a lot of times the 3rd place wrestler is much better than the 2nd place wrestler, but it's how the bracketing was affected. I know you had some teammates in Lorain back there that probably placed in the state also when you were wrestling.
yeah, you could if you look at the Lorain High bench right now, Narcisco and Cherokee was my drill partner, and he also was a 3-time state placer.
Really?
He was
So
he was a 3-time state qualifier, 2-time placer.
Okay.
And we wrestled together, placed together, drilled together. So you.
That's one thing about being in the wrestling room. If you have a good partner, it helps both of you achieve. You were probably back there when you were the youngest on the team when you placed in the state. Wasn't that true? Back in the day?
I was one of them my sophomore year.
Yeah.
Cisco was a freshman. I was a sophomore. We were one of the younger ones. And then it was nice that we were able to finish our career at Southview and the last year of Southview wrestling with a couple state placers. It was a good season.
One nice thing I've always liked about wrestling, I've been involved in wrestling as an official for 37 years and a coach before that, is this is a sport where the 113 places just the same exact importance to the team as the 220-pound pinner. So, size doesn't matter. It's the size of what you have in your heart that counts.
Exactly.
So we end the first period here, 4-1. Who's taking injury time? Is that Amherst?
I believe he has more blood time.
More blood time. That's always a problem in wrestling. Injury's a little different than blood time. Injury, you only get 1:30 to correct whatever injury you have, whereas blood time, they give you 5, because sometimes it is hard to stop a bloody nose.
Some wrestlers are just more prone to bloody noses, easy bleeders.
Yep. Well, I've been in matches where the coaches, they have the plugs already because they know there's going to be bleeding coming on in this match somewhere along the line.
Yeah, one of the kids on the team when I was in high school had a bloody nose every day in practice. Every match.
Yeah.
It's just how some people are programmed. But frustrated him because he just wanted to keep wrestling.
Oh, exactly, exactly. But, I mentioned a long time ago, that's what they've cleaned up a lot of the issues in wrestling, and they do give a lot of time for cleanup and blood time.
Yeah, you don't want to lose a match because you run out of blood time.
Exactly.
So they try to
They give you
accommodate as much as they can.
5 minutes. It's hard to bleed for 5 minutes. Well, I've seen coaches tape up a nose to save that 5 minutes. More blood time.
There it is.
You know, good wrestling comes a lot of times with good coaching. And I know Lorain's coaching staff is unique in that we have a first-year coach at Lorain, but he is a veteran because he's been coaching actually for probably 25, 30 years. And he is an old Southview wrestler way back in the day. He didn't graduate from Southview because he moved to Brookside his senior year. But Jim Kudrin took over the program this year. And Jim has coached, like I said, for the last 30 years at numerous schools. But he was he wrestled in the NCAA division because he wrestled for, I think he wrestled at Hiram, or was it, I can't remember. No, Heidelberg. Jim wrestled at Heidelberg, where he's on their Wall of Fame because he was one of their best wrestlers down there back in his year, 1977.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And I see, if you see on camera, Jim is over right there asking the official for a clarification of some sort of a rule. Now, I don't know exactly what it is going to be. But, you know, assisting Lorain is Pepe Ruiz.
Pepe's been the coach there almost as long as the Turnises were the coach there.
Actually, Pepe has been at Southview since the very first day Southview opened.
That's true. Was one of the first wrestlers.
Very first wrestler for Southview. Has coached there or at Whittier, which is almost the same as saying the Southview
Yeah, it's
program,
just the middle school.
for years and years. And forever. He has never left the Southview program. And now that they've come over here to Lorain, the Lorain program. And again, there's Sonny Martinez. He was a wrestler back in the Southview days. And a person you might be familiar with, Father Ewan Robinson's coaching.
Yeah, I think I know him.
Yeah. So everyone has a Southview connection over there. Because if you're familiar with Lorain wrestling, there was always Lorain High, there was always Admiral King, there was always Southview. But when it came to wrestling, there was only one real school in the Lorain area, and that was Southview.
Yes, it was. Southview has a long history of wrestling.
Now, did you go to Southview all 4 of your years?
Yes, I did. My senior year was the last year Southview was open.
Okay.
Before they closed it down.
I know your father wrestled at Admiral King for a few years before he transferred over to Southview.
He wrestled at Admiral King for his freshman and sophomore year, and then he went to Southview his junior and senior year, and has been there ever since.
Now, coaching for Amherst is Brian Caesar, who's actually in his 4th year as the head coach, but he was the assistant before that. And Bill Walker is his assistant, but he was the head coach for 17 years before that. So they just kind of reverse roles. But both of them have good credentials. Whereas Caesar came in, he's placed twice down at state. He's been on the podium as a 4th placer and a 6th placer. And Walker actually, way back in his career, was a 2nd place finisher at the state tournament. So both teams have some credentials. And also helping the Amherst programs, Benny Matos and Mark Ambrosio, they have Lorain connections. So there's a lot of good wrestling going on here today. 12 seconds left in this match. It's still 4-1, and I think we're taking more blood time.
They've stormed beaches and freed countries. They've raised our flag and our hope. They've been called leathernecks. They've been called devil dogs. But above all, they're called Marines.
Not giving up any points at the end of the period.
Still 4-1. With 2 minutes to go now, he gets his chance. Most people think when you talk about wrestling, you talk about the person on top as the person in advantage. But actually, a lot of wrestlers take down knowing they can get their escape a lot easier than any other thing. Then it puts them back on their feet where they like to be.
For most wrestlers tend to be better at escaping than at riding out an opponent. Therefore, the bottom works to their advantage. Now, it's hard to just, you don't ever want to be on the bottom because that means you just got taken down. But at the start of the period, to choose down is a different story.
Exactly. I think you can hear the background music. We got a band here today. We have probably 1,000 people in the stands. This is an exciting wrestling match.
It is.
You don't get to see this very often.
I don't think I've ever seen cheerleaders at a wrestling match
Yeah.
before, so you can see how into it the crowd is.
Now, some of our viewers on WLCS Channel 20 in Lorain probably are old enough to remember back in the days when all dual meets looked like this, with bands and cheerleaders and 1,000 people in the stands. But today, I think more wrestling tournaments have taken over, and they don't draw the crowds that the dual meets used to draw. But you do get a lot more wrestling at a tournament.
You do. You'd see a lot more wrestlers, a lot more competition.
Yep. So coaches.
Better preparation for the state tournament, which is what the whole entire season is about.
Yeah, it looks like Amherst is riding strong with 1 minute left to go.
Yep.
There's a lot of rolling around going. Yeah, see, there he goes. There he goes. Not only did he come out with an escape, but he tried for a reversal by coming back rather than just securing his escape and getting right. He tried to pick up that ankle maybe for the reversal too. But it might have hurt him in the long run.
Yep.
Because Amherst comes back with a stalemate, and Amherst is still in control.
It was a good idea.
Yep.
It was a very good idea. The Amherst wrestler, a little savvy, and was able to counter it.
And when you're down 4-1, you have to go for a bigger move than just an escape. But now, might be with 37 seconds left to go. Get your escape and then try for the takedown in overtime. I don't think Amherst has that plan in mind. I think he's just going to ride him. You don't see him trying anything dangerous. Locking hands. That'll give him a point.
That'll be a point. Need to go for a move.
Yep.
A reversal will tie the match up.
And more. Okay. We got 22 seconds left in this match. Is it possible to get a reversal in 22 seconds?
It's very possible. In wrestling, anything is possible. Match is never over until zeros are on the clock.
Okay. See, I know what's going through the official's mind right now. Is the Amherst boy riding, or is he trying to turn him? And in his mind, he's probably saying there's only a few seconds left, but Amherst now threw that half in, and that'll get him a couple more seconds before the stall. And this match goes to Amherst, so that ties it up 9-9 after 4 matches. And what's our next weight class after 113?
After 113, we go to 120 pounds. For Lorain High, we're going to see Xavier Edwards, who has a 7-3 record this season. Finished 4th at the Riverside Rumble and 2nd at the Beaver Local Tournament.
Now, Amherst is going to counter with Anthony Leva. Now, he looks like he's a young wrestler. He is a junior, but his record was only 3-10, but he did place at the Avon Lake Tournament. And that was a pretty prestigious tournament in this area, so placing means he won a few matches. Caution on Edward. What did he probably do? Stepped into the line too early?
I believe they called a caution on Leva from Amherst. I think he moved before the whistle.
Okay. That's one thing. You have to keep your foot on that line and not jump across and try to gain an advantage on your opponent.
Xavier Edwards in with a nice takedown.
Nice takedown is right. And he, again, getting ready for a kick out. And he did kick him out. When you get that easy takedown, you want to go for more, don't you? That's probably the reason why you kick him out so early.
Just like any sport, every wrestler has what they tend to be good at. Where they have an advantage over the other wrestler. So Xavier knows his best scoring situation is probably on his feet. So
that's
might as well stay on your feet.
That's what he's going to do. But then it comes to a time where pins count, because you get more points for the pins than you do for anything else. So he's going to have to, after a few takedowns, keep him on the mat and try for the pin.
Especially in dual meets.
There he got another takedown, but he got his boy on his back, but he was out of bounds the whole time, so he'll never get back points. You can't get back points when your opponent's shoulders are out of bounds. 4-1. Now Xavier doesn't look like he's going to give him an escape, so maybe he will try to keep him on the mat this end of this first period.
Coaches probably looked at him and said,
Well,
"Oh, no."
he let him go. That was
Yeah. He does a good job of getting in real deep on the legs. He has those long limbs,
Yeah.
so his arms are able to wrap around and
yeah.
kind of bear hug the legs, so they have
Yeah.
nowhere to go, nowhere to bend. It's hard to defend a shot when they're in that deep.
Yeah, I coached Xavier way back there in 7th grade in football. He was a very good athlete for us over at Whittier at the time. And a dedicated wrestler. Yeah, being a 120, this is probably going to be his premier sport. So now here's a situation that usually ends up in a stalemate. One leg for Amherst and one leg for Lorain. So Amherst will try to get their escape before going out of bounds. But I think Xavier's not going to allow that. Here's a hard situation. No one's going to score from either position. The referee right now in his mind is thinking, when am I going to call this stalemate or allow him to get the escape?
Xavier allowed that escape with about 8 seconds left. It's not something you want to do typically, but
kind of a wasted point because you didn't get enough time to
take him
your
down.
takedown.
He's in pretty good control of this match, though, but every point counts.
Now, both teams have placed very well. Where Amherst has won 2 tournaments. They won like I said, the Avon Lake tournament, and they won the Bellevue tournament. But they've also are 3-2 in dual meets, and the only dual meet they lost to was to Marysville, who was ranked 5th in the state at the time. So they must have wrestled last weekend in a quad down there. Stalemate. No one was going to get any points off of that.
Yeah, it's a very, very impressive record that Amherst has so far this season.
Has Lorain wrestled any dual meets that you know of?
The only dual meet I know of is the East Liverpool duel, which I believe was a tri-meet.
Okay.
And they came out on top in both matches. So. Xavier with the reversal and back points.
That takes him up to about 10-3. Now, tech fall is when you are leading your opponent by 15 points, but you only get 5 points. So it's not quite as valuable as a pin, but certainly get you more than the 3 points for just a victory. And this 3 points coming now. This is where Xavier will try to bounce that shoulder down and pick up the extra point for the pin. Okay, there's his 3. Now he's working on a new move. Leading by 10 points.
Looks like he's going for a stack. Unsuccessful. Go out about restart. There's 30 seconds left in the second period. Score 13-3 in favor of Xavier Edwards.
Now that was a nice stand-up, but what we don't know is we're not in the mind of the Lorain wrestler. Did he allow him to stand up that easy? Because it didn't look like he reached back, but he got his takedown, so I'm sure.
And he has a deep half in. You want to?
Now this would be the pin right here. When you get that half in, and he worked it off of the takedown.
There it is. Way to pick up the pin with 7 seconds left. Nice job for Xavier.
So
that's going to help the team.
Moves the team score up to now what, 15?
15-9 in favor of Lorain High Titans.
Now here's where Amherst claims they're going to get into the strength of their lineup. From 130 all the way up to about 170, 180. They have a lot of wrestlers who have won a lot of tournaments and are doing very well. Because I'm thinking probably coming up at 126.
126.
Brian DeRicci, a senior, a district qualifier last year. I think I officiated his match at the Avon Lake. He's 13-1 this year, and the only match he lost is the championship of the Bellevue tournament.
And his opponent from Lorain High is Brandon Bartolome. He's actually a freshman, but has been doing pretty well this year. Finished 5th at the Riverside Rumble and went 2-0 at the East Liverpool Duels.
Now, he's still only a freshman. I do know he was a superior junior high wrestler where he got a chance to wrestle in the junior high state championships. He wrestled in the junior high dual meet state championships. But a freshman wrestling a district qualifier senior sometimes is a mismatch. But again, the coach's instructions were to Brian, wrestle well as you can, stay off your back.
Definitely.
Hold on to that leg, don't get tilted. Well, I'm sure that's what Richie was doing, trying to do. Just get a little tilt in there, get some back points. You wouldn't be able to get a pin from it, but you work on your back points.
Yeah, and junior high wrestling and high school wrestling are two different worlds. Competition level is so different. So for Brandon being a freshman and being able to make the varsity lineup and be able to compete, you know, he's doing a great job. Has a good future in wrestling.
So they were his feet because Richie allowed him, called him for neutral, gave him 1 point, put him on his feet. Now, did you see that duck under? To his legs.
Right to the single.
But Brandon fought off of it. Now, if he can hold that leg, but he's not going to be able to. He's not going to be able to. There's where the experience comes in.
Doing a good job fighting off his back. Don't want to give up. That's in there tight. And there it is.
That was somebody different. Oh, well. All right, who we have coming up here now? 138 already.
I believe this is the 132-pound weight class,
132?
but Lorain High doesn't have a wrestler. So that'll be Anthony Mendez receiving the win by forfeit for Amherst.
Now, he was I remember coaching him also at Whittier way back probably 5 years ago. So he also has some Lorain background. I know Anthony's father was a wrestler for Southview back in the day and placed this state way back.
Yep.
And now 138.
Yep. From Lorain High, we have Eli Garcia, who is a senior. One of our more experienced wrestlers, as you see. He this year he is 5-0, and he took with a first place finish at the Riverside Rumble.
Well, this is Alex Thunderbird. He's wrestling, also a senior, also a two-time state qualifier. He's a senior right now with a 13-1 record. Second at the Avon Lake tournament. He got beat by a superior wrestler over there, very good wrestler, but first at the Bellevue tournament. Now, Eli got his second takedown of the match. Here's is he going to hold him on the mat and not give him a chance for, a chance for takedowns, or is he going to try to kick him out and take him down again? My guess he's going to try to ride him.
That's what it seems. A nice.
No, we were both wrong. Once he got to his feet, rather than hold him up here and maybe get called for Stallings, best just let him go early.
Yeah, Funderburg is a experienced wrestler, so he's probably pretty good on bottom.
No.
Might be somebody hard for Eli to ride out.
Now, his coach mentioned, Eli.
Nice ankle pick.
Nice. Isn't that the nicest ankle pick we've seen
that
in a
was
long
a nice
time?
Ankle pick.
Now, he got his leg trapped up. To his butt there. That he let it low before the referee had to stop it. He did already. Potentially dangerous. What was happening, the Amherst wrestler's knee was getting caught up underneath him. Nothing illegal, but his arm's still twisted in there. Nothing illegal, but that's
Nope.
the referee's very first job is to protect the safety of the wrestlers. Don't let them get hurt out there. Now, wrestling is a tough sport, but it's not a vicious sport. You're not supposed
No.
to. No one intentionally goes out to hurt someone else. I mean, accidents do happen. But in my opinion, for the 37 years, I've never seen a wrestler intentionally trying to hurt someone.
There are some differences from the UFC.
Oh yeah, exactly. Where the object there is to hurt someone to make them, a submission hold. There is no submission holds in high school wrestling. There's some holds you'd rather not be in. Has anyone ever got the legs in on you and start squeezing a little bit?
That's the reason why I took a whole practice on working on how to get out of legs.
Yep.
It's not a fun experience.
Yeah. Now we're going to go into the second period here, and it probably will be Lorain's choice. He's going to take down, trying to get his escape early. Yeah, someone asked me, how do you wrestle with the legs? I said, well, the easiest way to do it is don't let the legs get in. Isn't that it?
That's the first thing they teach you.
Yeah.
Best way to defend the legs is just
keep them out.
Yep.
Well, Eli didn't have a good first move there. It looks like what he's going to do is try to kind of work his way up to his feet, keep that half off his neck. And he got to his feet now. Now we'll try reach back for that ankle. You see Alex still kept that half in tight. Going to ride a little bit of a spiral here. Yeah. Now Alex got out of all except for his leg, but you'll watch. He'll come spinning out of this in control.
Good scramble.
In control. Great scramble, wasn't that? I don't know if you got any back points out of that. I don't think the Amherst coaching staff was real happy with the reversal because Alex, their Amherst wrestler, never did leave go of the leg. Now, he was on his back for a while, but he never let go of that leg. So the official thought that Eli had enough control in there. Obviously, the Amherst coaches think he didn't have enough control. That's what the discussion's about at the table right now.
One of those calls that's just up to the ref's discretion, his judgment.
There is a lot of judgment in wrestling. And that one, again, happened over on the edge of the mat where there was a chance of going out of bounds. Keep it in the middle.
Yep. You definitely want to wrestle in a style that you're going to keep it out of the ref's hands because when you, as in the case of that call, it's up to the ref's decision. And it's basically his fate's in your hands.
Yeah. Good moves in the little middle of the mat, and you make the call.
You determine the outcome of the match.
Well, with about 30 seconds left in this match, what Garcia's gonna have to do is try to keep him on the mat, pick a leg up, maybe reach over, pick up the other leg. He's not gonna try anything exotic or puts himself in jeopardy. But he got to work himself up to the top a little bit. Can't hang back on the legs. Hanging back is, in some officials' mind, immediate chance for stalling.
What Eli was doing a good job of was he was attempting moves. Thunderberg was defending them, so he secure him on the mat and then try another move. Thunderberg defends it, but then his first instinct is to, instead of force a move or to keep trying different moves to leave himself vulnerable for an escape, he always made sure that he was on top of Thunderberg and always had his pressure on him.
That's the trick in wrestling. You got to hold your man down, keep good steady pressure, and work hard enough so no one will think you're stalling.
Exactly.
Here's a situation that usually gets called into a stalemate very quickly. No one could have done anything out of that. They could have been there for 2 minutes.
Looks like Eli's taking an injury time for his knee. He's had some problems with his knee this season.
Now, Lorain's wrestled 2 tournaments, but it looks like Eli's only wrestled in the first of that tournament and won a championship. Looks like he didn't get a chance to wrestle in the second. Maybe that knee problem kept him out of the last tournament. Now, we had a match 3 or 4 matches ago where the Amherst wrestler took a lot of timeouts for the blood time, whereas an injury time now you only get 2, so you can't take that same knee problem for the 5 minutes. You only get a minute and a half, and you only get a chance to stop the match twice.
And one interesting thing they started doing was once you take that second injury time, your opponent's able to choose what position he wants to wrestle from.
So he can then choose down and maybe
he can then choose down and
get
then
an escape.
Exactly.
Or if he likes to be on his feet, choose up.
Yep.
And
you may have been on top and
Okay.
they're able to ride him, and now he's on his feet and has a chance to score again.
So they're discouraging people from taking a second time out where they really don't need it, I'm sure.
Exactly. So Eli wants to be careful. You know, you can tell he's in pain, but if he can, fight through it, it would be to his advantage.
And I see the referee is over there now telling the scorekeeper how many seconds he used because you only get 90 seconds, minute and a half. So they're on their feet for the 3rd period. Whose choice was that? Was Amherst's choice. Wanted to wrestle from his feet. Nice move, but I don't think it worked for you, son. Yeah. Garcia with a takedown and now riding. I'm sure once he gets to his feet, he's going to kick him. And again, he turned around, got his escape first, then he came back in for the ankle. Now, when the Amherst boys' knee hits the ground, they were out of bounds. But Lorain secured the takedown before they ended out of bounds. Now, that would be a questionable call. Did his knee hit first?
Yep.
So out of bounds, or did the wrestler get a takedown first? There's another case where there's a judgment call.
See the Amherst wrestler senses that he's running out of time, so you see in the past couple seconds he's definitely picked up the intensity, but Eli able to take some good shots and keep scoring throughout the match.
Here's a case here where the Amherst got his legs around his head, but he can't lock his ankles. Because if you lock his ankles, he can't scissor ahead. Too dangerous. They'll call that immediately. And again, that's why the referee called that stalemate faster than that. And here comes Amherst takedown to make the score 10-5. Now he'll get a kick out, hoping to get another takedown fast.
It seems that Eli's been missed the last couple of matches, so he may be working on getting back into wrestling shape. He's wrestled a hard-fought match. He's a little more winded. He's a little more winded than the Amherst wrestler right now, though.
That makes it 11-12-7, but only 13 minutes. Here's a case we got called for stalling because he backed up twice. He backed up all the way off the mat. Now that's what Amherst is going to try to do: force him to do it again. But Eli's a KG wrestler. He got some experience. See how he cut the corner and didn't go out of bounds to give the referee an easy call for stalling again. Very good match. Very good match for both wrestlers, I think.
Wrestle very smart.
So wrestling not only is a brutal competitive sport for physical, but also a mental sport where you have to think your way out there on the mat too, don't you?
Definitely.
All right, who do we have for Lorain in this match?
From Lorain, we have Blake Benyard. He's wrestling 152 and with a record of 6-2 and a second place finish at the Beaver Local Tournament.
He had a nice ankle pick on that on Bryce Williams, who's one of the twins coming up. He's a junior, district qualifier last year, 12-2 this year. He's also been doing very well in the tournaments, first in one tournament, second in the other. I'm looking at the scoreboard. They have 21-21. I'm not sure that's right. Wasn't it 21-15? And Garcia only got a decision. Maybe I'm missing something.
Yeah, they're gonna go and they'll correct the score soon. It's not 21-21.
You got a young scorekeeper, just gave 6 points rather than the 3.
And giving points to the wrong side, it's easy mix-up. They'll straighten it out though. I'm sure the Lorain High coaches are on it.
Yeah. Well, someone might be injured because I see the girl out there cleaning up the mats a little bit. I didn't see any chance of bleeding, but you know, bleeding happens. Like you say, somebody's nose comes out quickly.
Yep.
And blood spurts early.
Or you know what? I believe it is 21. It may be 21-21 because we didn't take into account the forfeit that Amherst received.
That's right. Lorain was missing one of the wrestlers back at about 126.
Yep. And a forfeit, you get the same amount of points as a pin. So.
Okay. So you didn't give your opponent a chance to get a pin, so you get 6 points for not having a wrestler.
And I do believe this is the correct score, and we are actually down 3 points.
Okay, so the score should be Amherst 21 and Lorain 18. Blake got in there deep, but he couldn't hold it. And I think there's a chance. Maybe the takedown was given a little too early, but he was in control. It just you have to be on control on the mat to get your takedown. But they're on the mat now, so no harm. Now.
Got 47 seconds left in the first period. Blake's down 2-0.
More blood.
There's more blood on the mat.
Fisher's going to come out and clean it up. Give us a chance to mention that these matinee matches that they have, assembly matches, allows a lot of the students to come out and see their teammates wrestle. But last year at Lorain and this year at Amherst, all the profits that are made from this wrestling are going to be donated to the Brain Cancer Society. I think the Amherst coach's mother, that was her charity of choice. She was seriously ill with brain cancer and passed away last year. Kudos to Coach Caesar for suggesting that they give this money to charity to help research for the brain cancer.
Yes.
See, all the other situations we had where a wrestler was on the thing, they almost always kicked them out and let him go. This wrestler looks like he likes to be on the mat. He looks like he likes to work for back point. It looks like he's going to keep his wrestler on the mat the whole match. He doesn't have it yet.
Tight.
Yeah, now he does. You think the official looks like he's holding a couple points.
2 seconds.
2 seconds.
Hang on here. And made it to the next period.
Made it to 3 more back points, makes it 5-0. Went into the second period with Amherst choice, and he defers to Lorain. Lorain chose neutral. I think it's because he got that nice ankle pick. Didn't quite score on it the first period. But you'll see Amherst will keep his feet away from him if he knows he's going to be an ankle picker.
Amherst also does a nice job on his counters.
Yeah, look at that.
And moves right into a cradle.
You got a little inside cradle now. And the trick with that inside cradle is you get your head in there and head in the hole and turn him in there. Those cradles kind of take it out of you if you're the bottom wrestler. And there's the pin.
And there's the pin.
50 seconds into the second period.
That takes our score to 27 Amherst, 18 Lorain.
Yeah. Now people are going to think that they're seeing double because this is Austin Williams for Amherst, a twin, identical twin actually, of Bryce, who just wrestled. Now Austin has a tremendous year going this year. He's a junior, 14-0. He has not lost this year yet.
And his opponent from Lorain is George Colvin And George has a 8-1 record. Has an 8-4 record.
8-4.
Yes, and he had a third place finish at the Beaver Local Tournament and went 2-0 at the East Liverpool Duel.
Yeah, got away there. I don't think that was a kick out. I think he just squirmed and got himself an escape, a true escape. But he gave up back points on doing it. Here's a case where a very aggressive Amherst wrestler working on the head, slapping the head, keeping the head down. Now the trick is when you're pummeling in there, you keep your opponent's head down. That sets up a lot of shots for the offensive wrestler as you're pummeling, because when his head's down, he doesn't have much of a chance to shoot on you. 30 seconds left in the first period. Actually, if Colvin comes out of this period 4-1, I would think that's successful, actually. But I spoke too soon. It looks like there was a takedown to his back. Now, he may not got back points. Yes, two back points. I think this
so you got a
quick.
2 count.
Those are quick. Quick 2 count. Sometimes 2 seconds go faster than other 2 seconds.
Yeah. There's another 2 points. So, good job of scoring.
Yeah.
In the final seconds of the period, those points really make a difference in the match.
Yeah. Now Austin had his choice. He took up, thinking he's already taken him down to his back twice. Can he do it again?
Nice fireman's carry. That's 2 more points. Makes the score 12-1. He's gonna go for the pin here. He's getting close to a technical decision, so he's gonna be going for the pin to get those extra points, and he got it.
He had his arms all bundled up. There's not much what you can do when he bundles those arms up and gets you on your back. All right, and Amherst will come up with another. Now, this is not another twin, but they sure all look alike, don't they? This is Mike Worst. He's only a junior, but he is 11-2, first at Avon Lake and first at Bellevue. So he's done some wrestling. He's done some very good wrestling.
And his opponent is Luther Washington from Lorain, who has a 7-0 record. He had a first place finish at the Beaver Local Tournament and won both matches at the East Liverpool Duels.
So now, I remember coaching Luther in football over in Whittier, but he's a newcomer to the Lorain lineup. He was at Larry Catholic for his freshman and sophomore year. I think a district qualifier as a sophomore coming into the Division III, coming out of Larry Catholic. Nice addition to the Lorain lineup.
He's a strong wrestler. He definitely improved our team.
Yeah.
Both wrestlers kind of filling each other out.
Yeah. Now here's where people
Working
think
for advantage.
Yeah, they're looking like they're stalling, but they're really not. They're just seeing what will work and what won't work. How quick the man is, how he sprawls. Does he leave his ankle out? A lot of mental things going on in this early few seconds of a match.
26 seconds left, and the score is still 0-0.
Yep, no takedowns just in the first period because that's actually the first time they stay about. These wrestlers are working hard to stay in the middle of the mat, looking for some sort of little advantage. There's the first
Nice high
deep
crotch.
shot. Very first shot, nice deep. It looks like Amherst is countering his way out of it.
Short time. Don't want to give up any points here.
Yeah. You got to keep that right arm up
Luther's
around
doing a
his
good job
leg.
of blocking.
One more second. No takedown. He countered it nice. So he got the deep shot in there. Amherst countered, and then it came in on the offense. Looked like Luther gave him the point for going neutral. Wanted to work on his feet a little bit more. I think a lot of wrestlers think it's hard to hold a superior man down, so give him the point early rather than later where now you have a chance for a takedown.
Yep.
But you see it didn't work in this case because Amherst is the one that secured a takedown.
Yep.
And back points.
Throws almost in on a good shot. Left himself exposed a little bit, and Amherst
Yep.
wrestler was able to capitalize. Which makes the score 5-0 now in favor of Amherst.
Michael Worst. Now, all these wrestlers will see each other again. Being in such close proximity as the two schools, they're always at the same sectionals. The dual meet state tournament is coming up in January. They're in the same region, so they'll probably be wrestling in the dual meets. So they'll see each other again.
Definitely.
Now, what do you think when you were wrestling? Is it an advantage to see an opponent again the second time, or disadvantage?
Depends. Can work both ways. You know, you definitely get more comfortable and you learn the opponent's style and what to expect. But at the same time, seeing a wrestler multiple times, you can start to, think about past matches, and it's definitely a mental game.
And sometimes there's that one wrestler out there, you can beat everybody else, but you just can't beat him.
Happens a lot.
Yep. Well, it looks like with a 10-1 advantage, Luther's going to have to try for some sort of a big move this last period. And big moves are hard to secure against superior wrestlers. It's a nice spin around. Get your opponent's head down on the mat and spin around, secure the takedown. 12-1. Actually, they called the Lorain wrestler for stalling. Now, that's always a tough call for an official. Is the Amherst wrestler overpowering him so he can't move out of there, or is he not trying? That's what's going through the mind of the official right now.
This official apparently feels he's not trying.
Yeah.
It hit him again with it.
That takes it to 13-1.
I don't know what the ref wants Washington to do here.
Yeah.
Amherst wrestlers doing a good job of keeping them flat and keeping pressure on them. There's not much you can do from the bottom.
Especially when you got a bar arm in there on one side. You reached over and you grabbed the wrist on the other side, which you're supposed to do, and now you're trying to walk that bar arm. It's hard to do anything when both of your hands are tied up.
The only defense is trying to stop them from putting you on their back.
Yeah,
and
that's what he's doing. Now that the arm's free, what he should be trying to do is get to his feet. That's it. That should be the match. No, that was 17 points. Now he won by a tech fall, but he didn't get pinned.
Did not get pinned, so he did save.
He saved a team point.
Team point.
The conditioning is a big part of the sport too. When you're at the beginning of the season, now no, we're not quite at the beginning, but we're not all the way into the end of January either. So conditioning plays a big, big part in wrestling. Now we're up at 170. Looks like there's no Lorain wrestler 170. And Amherst Mike Slyman takes the forfeit of 170. And at 182, Amherst has another superior wrestler in Derek Ebon, a junior at 12-1.
And his opponent from Lorain is Aaron Neal, who is 10-2 on the season, with a second place finish at the Riverside Rumble, third place finish at the Beaver Local Tournament, and 2 victories at the East Liverpool Duels.
I remember doing some TV shows for Lorain football, and Aaron Neal was a sophomore defensive linebacker for Lorain, and I know I mentioned his name 1,000 times. So I know Ebon is a wrestler or a football player for Amherst. So here's 2 wrestlers out here that are 2 sport people, football and wrestling. But we're getting up in that weight class where there are a lot of football players wrestle when you get them to the 82s and the 195s. Nice shot, but a nice counter. Both out of bounds, no takedown yet. That's one of the first things they even teach the biddies, how to sprawl. When a man's going for your legs, you got to get your legs back there. So because that's the easiest way to get taken down if a man can get your legs.
Definitely, you learn a stance, you learn how to move in a stance, and when the whistle blows, you got to sprawl.
Yeah. Well, you remember we started at 220, so this may be the next to the last match.
Yep, I believe we have after this we have the 195-pound match, and that'll
that should
do it for the dual meet. Score is 0-0 still, with 40 seconds left in the period.
Now see, now the referee did call 2. He did call 2, but he realized his mistake. And that was
it was a very quick decision.
Yeah.
Very quick call.
You learn in officiating 101, let it burn. What let it burns mean is don't call it fast. Check the results. Make sure it's there before you call it.
Yes, you definitely want to make sure the takedown security before you give 2 points.
Because he would have gave 2 and 2 for back points, and that's a 4-point move. And it's hard to come back from a 4-point move. Where now it's 0-0 rather than 4-0. It's a good call on the official that he waved that takedown off. Because I've always gone by the rule: if it's not there, it's not there. Amherst's choice. What is he going to take? He'll defer and let Lorain make the choice. Lorain's going to take down, try to get that escape, hoping maybe Ebon would like to go on his feet and kick him out maybe for a point, take a little bit of an advantage in the second period.
Definitely want to break those hands free. Amherst has a cradle. Not a good position for Neal from Lorain. He's able to fight off his back, though.
3 back points. So it's 5. Now, there was a decision where he had the choice. Maybe he should have took his feet, where they would have been both on their feet and trying to secure a takedown. But that's the gamble you take when you chose down. Out of bounds. Give Lorain one more chance to start it. 1 minute 18 left in the period. No, I mentioned earlier that these two teams at close proximity would see each other again. You know, they're not in the same sectional.
They're not in the same sectional this year?
No, they're not. Amherst is actually going to go out and wrestle in the Mansfield sectional because the Northwest teams have lost the Toledo team, so they need some extra teams. So Amherst is as far west as you can get in the Northeast, so they have gone out with Elyria to wrestle at Mansfield in the sectional. So they won't meet at our sectional again this year.
That's interesting. Well,
yeah. But they are in the same region, so they will meet probably in the dual meet state championship tournament.
And at the districts.
And at districts.
Yeah.
And at state.
And at state. Meet everybody at state.
Yeah. You hope you get a couple people down there. That's always the goal in wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
See, he's turning them, but he'll turn them out of bounds. He won't get back points for this.
You got 11 seconds left in the period. Scores 5-0 in favor of the Comets.
Oh, I think I almost seen a full Nelson come over
I
there.
think the ref missed that one.
Wow. No. As many years as I officiated on the mat, I never thought the person sitting in the top row of the bleachers could see as well as they can see. So maybe that grandmother that always yells at me that her boy is not stalling, maybe she's telling the truth.
She was right.
Maybe she was right. Because if that was not a full Nelson, that was as close as you can come with both hands over the head. It's coming in again, but this time he pulled the left hand out before he put the right hand in. That's another thing you have to learn way back in the biddy days, not to throw a full Nelson.
Oh.
Wow.
And with the pin, that brings the score to 50 for Amherst and 18 for Lorain High.
Well, you knew Amherst was going to be tough from 138 all the way up to 182 because of the records and where they've been placing in various tournaments. You knew they're tough. This is Dennis Breeding, who also is a junior, also with a decent record at, well, actually a good record at 10-2, but he wrestled in the freestyle national tournament this year out in Fargo.
Oh, wow.
Which is something big for a nice
accomplishment.
Nice change of pace for a wrestler in the summertime.
And his opponent from Lorain High is Devin Resinger with a record of 9-3 on the season. Finished 4th at the Riverside Rumble, 3rd at the Beaver Local Tournament, and 2-0 at the East Liverpool Duel.
Remember, we were talking about having a nice, it's always good to have a drilling partner. I remember Devin as a junior high wrestler. He was on a team of one. He was the only wrestler at his junior high his 8th grade year. That's hard when you don't have a drill partner.
That is very hard.
But he made it. He did very well in all his meets and made it to the junior high state championships. But it looks like Breeding coming in as a junior and wrestling in Fargo. with matches this year, placing in the nation. He has some experience over him. There's a case. He got his escape on a kick out with 15 seconds now. You got to keep back because you don't want to give this cheap takedown with 9 seconds to go. It looks like he did it.
Amherst shoots down at the start of the second period.
Now, sometimes at this weight, with what we call the big boys, when you get up to the 195s, sometimes choosing down when someone can throw a half and turn you on your back and you're not going to be able to get off, sometimes it's a mistake. He looks like he has enough savvy to get to his feet and an escape. Taking a 6-1 lead. Still a minute and 30 to go in the second period.
This wrestler still. There's Resinger
nice
with
shot.
a nice shot. Finish. Good defense by Breedy.
Well, the thing is, when a man picks your leg up, you got to get that leg back down on the mat. Because once your leg's up in the air, all you can do is bounce around. But once you get that leg down, now he doesn't have a control over it anymore.
Exactly.
So there's always, that's the things you drill on when you're in the practice room.
Lorain High is going to take this match and see a lot of things that they need to.
Yep.
Little tweaks here and there.
Yeah, exactly what you have to do. Take the film, see where you did something that was good, but you didn't finish the move. That's a lot of things. You gotta, if you get a good move in, you still gotta finish it to secure the points off of it. Because good moves aren't worth anything in this sport unless you can get the points.
Nice throw by.
Yeah. There's a chance when you do a throw by, then you got to go down for a leg to get behind a man.
Yep.
All right, we're going into the third period. Still only not only 6-1. So this is still anyone's match. Devin taken down, hoping for either an escape or a reversal. Because if he can catch Dennis in some sort of a mistake, get a, throw a half from his knee, something where he can roll him.
Brady did a nice job flattening him out. Keeping pressure on him.
Ooh, now there's a crossface that Fisher had to say, was that a little bit too hard or not? Didn't get any back points because he couldn't take him. He got his escape.
Which brings the score to 6-2. Resinger still in this match.
Yeah, he is.
Minute and a half to go in the third period.
I don't want to tell you, I go back a long way, but I officiated Breeding's father way back there in Vermillion when he was in 7th and 8th grade. Yeah, Yeah.
You know, this wrestling is definitely a family sport. So
It is, isn't it? Yeah.
one wrestler passes on to the next
Yep.
in the next generation, and you
Yeah.
usually see brothers on the team and uncles and cousins. They all wrestle.
You know what you see that you don't see in other sports is, like I asked you if you had wrestled with any of these Lorain boys before, you see old wrestlers come back and work out because you're still a young man, you still like to get a little workout in, and wrestling is the type of sport where you can go back and help just by working out yourself with the team.
Yep.
Show them some things that you learned along the way.
And the unfortunate thing about wrestling is, unlike basketball or like baseball, you can't just go to a park and play.
Yeah.
So
Yep. You have
know,
to go
to
into
do
a
what you
wrestling
love, you
room,
go
right.
to get in the room and
Yep.
you go toe to toe with the
Yeah.
up and coming wrestlers who are in a lot better shape and
And wrestling is a team sport. And
Definitely.
Amherst took a team meet 53-18, but it's also an individual sport where you can come back and work one-on-one with an individual. You don't have to work with the whole team. You're a lightweight, you work with some of the lightweights. The bigger guys come back and work with some of the heavier weights.
Exactly.
Here's always a nice part of sports anymore, the sportsmanship at the end of a match. Shake hands.
Shake hands.
Yeah.
You know. Everybody's in with the same goal.
Yeah.
Friendly competition.
Now, the next match, both teams are going to wrestle. Lorain will be at the Lorain Holiday Classic in their own gym on December the 28th and 29th, where Amherst will be going to, I think, the Brecksville tournament the same weekend. So each will take off for their own brand of competition, probably hoping both for successful tournaments.
Definitely. And they both have strong teams, and they're both going to be very successful this season. It's still early, so looking forward to a lot more exciting wrestling throughout the year.
Looking forward to working with you again, Yulin.
Oh, definitely.
I know we'll see you at a tournament or somewhere, I'm sure, along the line.
Definitely. I'll be, wherever there's wrestling, I'll be around.
Yeah, I'm sure, and wherever there's wrestling, I'll probably have my straight shirts on doing the same thing. Well, this is Tom Bauer, my partner, Yulin Ralston, saying goodbye, and our cameraman, Bob Schemberger, saying good night, have a safe trip, and a Merry Christmas to all of you.
This has been a production of Lorain City Schools, TV 20 WLCS.
To purchase a high-quality copy of the program you just viewed, please call Lorain City Schools Television at 282-8400.